Hey everybody, excuse me. Good energy to you guys. So, what I wanted to, speak on was what Yana, talked about. What happened with her and her dad, and specifically when she talked about how could a God allow that to happen, and this is not something I take lightly, and it's something even before I met her, I've spent a good deal of time thinking about, because it's bothered me, and I've had the exact same questions. Not that it's happened to me, but I've become aware of, just how seemingly prevalent issues like that are, and it does. The question is like, well, how is this happening? Really, this is some serious evil, man. Especially for children to have to go through things like that, because we're told, this is where it gets into like reincarnation, and I'm just keeping it real because everything happens for a reason. So I just can't, in my heart, believe that it just happens out of sheer randomness. I don't think that anything happens out of randomness. So there's a reason behind it all, and I don't think it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna randomly, fuck with this person just because. No, I think there's a reason for it. I think it's deeds and stuff that we've done in our past, and stuff we have to answer for, and and then you can take that even deeper, and it's like, well, I was made this way, and da 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 da. And yes, you were, but I think that's also where free will comes into play. And I also think that we're all given signs, we're all given callings, and it's up to us to listen to these callings and these signs, and or to ignore them. And when you do ignore them, you're stepping into grounds that leaving you open and vulnerable to being afflicted by these type of evils. So, in regards to just anybody that's dealt with situations like that, I mean, hers is particularly just crazy disgusting. I mean, it's crazy. I get some crazy shit to hear. So, the intricacies, I don't know. I don't know her whole life. I don't know all that she's been through, what she's done. I don't know her past lives. The fact that it happened to her at such an early age, to me, suggests that, and I think stuff that, in her past life is the only thing that I can think of that is, that could have allowed something like that to happen. Because remember, it's all an allowance. Everything we have is an allowance. We all have the resources we have the energy we have the health we have whatever it is we are, and where we are is because we are allowed to be there. So something allowed that to happen, and this is why, again, it's really the word. When you stick to the word of Yahushua, and I'm not and I want to make a video about that too, because there's been manipulation with the good book, and it has been used to keep people in a more submissive state, and even a more feminized state. The masculinity itself does need, I feel, needs to come back. That's really what, not just masculinity, just authenticity in itself, because I think a lot of females have lost touch with their feminine side too, to be honest. So it's not just the masculine, it's both. It's the masculine and the feminine. Like, to truly, authentically, most highly be what that is something that, we need. But in order to do these things, we got to know what it means to really be a male or a female, and then to know who you are as a male and a female based on your own spirit and your own personality and your own love and desires and passions and all that, which are things that you can figure out and learn, if you study yourself and you experiment with things. I'm not just talking about drugs, I'm just talking about just hobbies, just books, passions, dreams, whatever it may be, talking with people, these are all experimentations, essentially. Everything you do is, kind of an experiment. You really don't know exactly what's going to happen. You have an idea based on circumstances and factors, but until, you really put it to effect, you don't know the effect. So anyway, I'm segueing a little bit, and I don't know if I'm really, and if anybody wants to talk, my phone, that's the one thing that my phone is able to do. I'm not able to get on social media very much, but I have service as far as cellular communications is concerned all the time, as long as I have battery power, which I usually have battery power, or even for texts. But Pops told me, like, the two people that seem to have the most trouble with Christianity, religion, and him being God, and just God in general, and that whole aspect, are women who've been raped and fathers who've lost their son. Those seem to be the two biggest issues he's seen in his walk, and who he is and what he knows when it comes to believing in God. So, and I can see why. I mean, that's some crazy shit, especially if you've never done those type of things to anybody else. It's like, well, why would this happen to me? And and again, and then it also goes deeper, because it's like, you made me this way, God, so you're just making me to be this fucked up creature. Like, that's not really fair. And you could look at it that way, but again, I think that's where it comes down to free will. I think we do have an element of choice in our lives. If we didn't, there wouldn't be the beautiful wonderment, there wouldn't be the beautiful contrast, there wouldn't be the beautiful growth, there wouldn't be anything more. It would just be a fucking script that's set, and that's all that it is. There's no variables, there's no fluctuations, there's no extra colors or hues. So I think these things need to be there, and I think that's also why it's up to us to be responsible, and to have the sight and the ears to hear, and the eyes to see, when signs are being showed to us, and things are being told to us that are trying to lead us to a healthier and good path, and to not listen to our lower self, or our demonic self, or the devil inside of us, or the unhealthy self, or whatever you want to call it, because as that will lead you to an unhealthy, evil, negative, whatever you want to call it, way. So, maybe I'll talk more on this. I don't know. It's a very sensitive subject, but from what I've gathered, that's the only thing that makes sense to me, because I don't. Again, nothing happens out of random, and I know Pops. I know he's not gonna just set people up to get raped and shit. I mean, you could look at it a lot of different ways, but this is the contrast, man. See, right now I can feel myself like questioning what I just said. So it's a hard one, man. It really is. But as far as and as deep as I've gone in searching for this answer, this is what I've come up with. So to be honest, it's kind of out of my league, because I have not experienced those type of abuses. I mean, I know some of you guys might think that I have, but I really have not experienced those type of abuses. But I've thought about them a lot, and my heart really does go out to people, and I do really want to try to help these people who not only have been abused, but also the abusers, so that they stop doing this shit. This is why I've also been so against revenge, because all it does is perpetuate the cycle. That's why a lot of these, like, pedophiles and these families and all these things, like, I think they just keep on raping themselves. So it's like they get raped, and then they're abused, and they're fucked up, and they take that out, and they rape others. But then when they rape others, they're setting themselves up to be raped in themselves. And abuse comes in a lot of different forms. It's not just about, you can rape somebody's emotions, you can rape somebody's well-being, you can rape their integrity, there's a lot of different ways you can rape things. It's not just, I'm using that word very loosely, but I think you guys get my meaning. There's a lot of ways you can take advantage, which is really what rape is. It's just having the ability or the power to take advantage of another, whether it's in the form of sexual intercourse, or energy harvesting, or lying, manipulating. There's levels of it, of course. Raping somebody sexually is about as high as it fucking gets. If not, I mean, yeah, that's as high as it gets. I mean, doing that, killing somebody, I mean, it's almost worse to rape somebody, because then you're leaving them alive, and you're leaving them all fucked up. But killing is a termination, so there's really that's pretty intense in itself, and you're just taking that person's ability to walk around and make more choices in their life completely away. So I don't know, there's levels to everything. They're both pretty dark and heavy and twisted. So but those are by far much higher and stronger and more abusive than things like lying, manipulating. Those are a much lower level of quote-unquote rape, or taking advantage of. So let me see where I'm at in my minutes. I don't want to go too far. Okay, we're about 10 minutes. Good. But yeah. So, you know, I mean, that's, you know, I'm gonna meditate more on this, but as far, you know, for right now, I think that's about all I got. I have been hiking around all day. I got a bunch of shit done. I'm gonna upload some more videos and share with you guys a little bit of my day. But I am a bit whooped again. But, you know, I hope you guys are doing all right. And yeah, I love you guys. All right, take care. Bye.